Today I want to talk about pass rush and why I think Alex Grinch is probably much more mindful of what the secondary is doing than what we think the defensive line is doing. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I'm prepping for the show tomorrow, which would be, I think, Thursday. The NBA draft is going to go on and whatnot. But I'm doing what I normally do, which is reading all this stuff and seeing what I see and what I think. And I'm also drifting back into how does this all equate to really good football when I'm reading about what really good football teams do. So instead of getting lulled to sleep by like what the Patriots are doing and continuing to dig into what it is Alex Grinch is trying to do at Oklahoma, I made the video about what the front is probably going to look like, why I think it's going to look like that, and you can check out that video. But now I'm kind of focused on what the back end is supposed to look like, especially with 5 defensive backs and 1 bandit, rover, spur, star, whatever it is you want to call that position. We call it nickel. Some folks call it slot corner. Seems like the position that Bookie is likely to play. Maybe Pat Fields, Justin Broyles, we'll see. But I'm really digging into the analytics on this, and I'm interested to see what does it take to make great pass rush, and does great pass rush matter in the way that we think it matters? Because at the NFL level, you pay quarterbacks and you pay pass rushers, all right? And you don't usually pay pass rushers nearly as much as you pay quarterbacks, because Khalil Mack makes a lot of money. He's not going to make the kind of money that Dak Prescott makes. And some folks would have an argument to say that Khalil Mack is worth more to you per game, per down, than, say, Dak Prescott, who is likely to make 10 times as much as a guy like Khalil Mack is going to make. Well, what that means in looking at stuff like PFF is you evaluate your quarterbacks based on what they do in clean pockets, because they actually operate from a clean pocket 70% of the time, and their passer rating, their real passer rating, what they're actually able to do is greatly reflected in that number. What did they do in the clean pocket? So a guy like Ben Roethlisberger is garbage when he's pressured, and he's actually got a passer rating north of 100 when he's not, which is why you see Pittsburgh win a lot of games, because when they can keep him clean, he makes the passes, he makes the throws. Now, defensively, what does that mean? It means that you want to get to the quarterback. Why? Because you get to drop that percentage by 30 points every time you create some variation of pressure. I say variation because you can get pressure from the blitz, which leaves you exposed on the back end, or you can get pressure by excellent coverage with a 4-man, 3-man front if you're really, really good at it. So which is more important, pass rush or great coverage? And it turns out, all things being equal, it's great coverage. Great coverage allows for absolutely outstanding pass rush, and you can also see this bear out. This is why you'll see guys like Bill Belichick spend a lot of money to go get Stephon Gilmore so he can cover people up. Spend a lot of money on Darrelle Revis so he can go cover people up. And I think when the CBA is redone, we're actually going to see the pay structure change a little bit, because cornerbacks are actually kind of invaluable. I sit on the Jim Thorpe Award selection committee, so I already am biased about this, right? I believe in what the Thorpe Award stands for from a character standpoint, but also from a football standpoint. Because if you can't complete a pass, I've made you one-dimensional. And in making you one-dimensional, you can't normally do the kind of things you want to do in this age of football, which is throw the ball all over the yard. If I can take away your number 1 wide receiver, I'm taking away the quarterback's most apt security blanket, just the best option to throw the ball to, the person they have the best chemistry with, which is why I think John Dorsey was smart to go get Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. Now, keeping them both happy, we'll see how Baker Mayfield is able to do that. But now you have 2 guys that are actually number 1 wide receivers, and you only have probably 1 good cornerback to face or to throw against that guy. So you, instead of being able to take away your number 1 option, you're going, okay, let's go to 1B, whoever that might be on the given day. Now, as it equates to coverage, you could probably spend a lot of money on getting an elite secondary. You could put together a secondary that has Earl Thomas, that has Cam Chancellor, that has Richard Sherman, and all of a sudden you got the Legion of Boom. And having the Legion of Boom, you have an outstanding defense, and then you go win a Super Bowl. So what does that mean for places like Oklahoma, and in particular the Big 12 at large? It means that if you were elite in the secondary, if you recruited well, and you know the system well, you end up with TCU. You end up with a secondary that takes away passes, that allows you to come downfield and make tackles. You end up like Iowa State, who's sneaking up on nobody now, and who is getting their brain picked by Bill Belichick about how they run their defense against air raid offenses, which are becoming more prolific in the NFL, and particularly not just college football, but in the Big 12. Now, for Oklahoma, that means you need to be best at a group at the secondary for which you were worst. We all didn't think that the defensive line was anything to write home about. We thought that the linebacking crew was the best of the three phases, and we were all going, oh my God, what is Khalil Houghton doing? We're going, oh my God, what did Parnell Motley get his head around? We're going, good God, it is looking like a midget versus a giant when Colin Johnson's up over the top of Tre Brown. Or you can say the same thing about Bookie. And there's lots of you that will say with a straight face, yo, perhaps we should start recruiting taller guys. Forget offering the midgets, as you might say. And as a 5'5" guy, I'm taking offense, but I understand where you're coming from. And Alex Grinch apparently wants to do that because he's got a 6'3" corner, safety, whatever you want to say. Ryan Watts can play in your secondary and will. He's got Dante Manny, who's got elite speed and is also at that 6'1" cutoff that they've kind of arbitrarily made. We say arbitrarily, but you get where I'm going there. But you also are not necessarily going after a guy like Jordan Reagan out at Bixby, who's local, who's in-state, who just committed to Oklahoma State, who's 6'2" playing corner. So, you better be really good at your evaluations. And if you're really good at your evaluations, you're going to be elite in the secondary. If you're elite in the secondary, that's going to translate to an excellent rush because you're going to be able to take away throwing options. Quarterback's going to hold on to the ball longer. And all of a sudden, you turn into Clemson, who's getting pass rush, but has the defensive backs to jump routes. Minka Fitzpatrick could literally play 6 different positions on your defense. 2017 Thorpe Award winner. DeAndre Baker was a shutdown quarter for Georgia. Huge reason as to why they were playing in the college football playoff in 2017 and playing the Sugar Bowl in 2018. We can continue to go down the list and look at who the Thorpe Award winners are and see outstanding football, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. And we all know that that is the part of the ball, the side of the ball that Oklahoma needs to come up on. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.